Hello everyone. Welcome back to our channel Tune in English. I'm thrilled to have you here today because we are going to dive into a fascinating topic. Why some people can't speak English but can understand it. This topic is quite common among language learners, and it has a lot of interesting aspects to explore. So, grab a cup of tea, get comfortable, and let's get started. Our video has 3 main parts. 1. Why you can understand but not speak English. 2. Why understanding is good. 3. How to get better at speaking English. We'll spend a lot of time on each part so you can really understand and learn. Are you ready? Let's begin. Part 1. Why you can understand but not speak English. Many people learning English have this problem. They can watch movies in English, understand songs, and read books. But when they try to speak, it's hard. Why does this happen? There are several reasons, and we'll look at each one carefully. 1. Listening is easier than speaking. When you listen, you only need to understand. Your brain takes in the words and makes sense of them. But when you speak, you have to do more. You must think of the words, put them in the right order, and say them correctly. It's like the difference between watching someone cook and cooking yourself. For example, when you watch a cooking show, it looks easy. The chef knows exactly what to do. But when you try to cook the same meal, you might forget steps or make mistakes. Speaking English is similar. When you listen, everything seems clear. But when you try to speak, you might forget words or use them in the wrong order. 2. You hear more English than you speak. Think about how much English you hear every day. You might watch TV shows, listen to music, or read websites in English. But how often do you speak English? For many people, it's not very often. The more you do something, the better you get at it. So, if you listen a lot but speak little, your listening will be better than your speaking. Let's imagine you love English songs. You might listen to them every day on your way to work or school. After a while, you start to understand the lyrics. But if you never sing along or practice saying the words, your speaking won't improve as much as your listening. 3. Speaking can be scary. When you listen or read, no one knows if you make a mistake. But when you speak, people can hear your errors. This can make you nervous. Being nervous can make it harder to speak well. Many people feel shy or afraid when they have to speak English. They worry about saying something wrong or sounding silly. This fear can make your mind go blank, even if you know the words you want to say. It's like stage fright. Even great actors sometimes feel nervous before a performance. 4. You need time to think. When you listen, the words come to you. You don't have to think of what to say. But when you speak, you need to think first. You have to choose your words and how to say them. This takes time and practice. Imagine you're ordering food in English at a restaurant. When the waiter asks, "What would you like?" you might need a moment to think. You have to remember the name of the dish, how to pronounce it, and any special requests you have. All of this thinking can slow down your speaking. 5. Speaking uses different skills. Speaking English uses different parts of your brain than listening does. When you speak, you need to remember words, use correct grammar, and pronounce things right. You do all of this at the same time. It's like juggling, it takes practice. For example, when you say a sentence in English, you need to choose the right words. Put them in the correct order. Use the right tense, past, present, future. Pronounce each word correctly. Use the right intonation, the way your voice goes up and down. Doing all of these things at once can be challenging, especially if you're not used to it. 6. You might translate in your head. Many English learners try to think in their first language and then translate to English. This takes time and can make speaking harder. For instance, if your first language is Spanish and you want to say "I'm hungry" in English, you might first think "tengo hambre" and then translate it. This extra step slows down your speaking and can lead to mistakes if the languages have different structures. 7. Vocabulary differences. You might know many English words when you hear them. But remembering these words when you need to use them in speaking can be difficult. For example, you might understand the word delicious when you hear it in a movie. But when you want to describe a tasty meal, you might forget this word and use a simpler word like good instead. 8. Different learning focus. Many English classes focus more on reading and listening than on speaking. This can make your understanding better than your speaking. In school or language classes, you might spend a lot of time reading texts or listening to recordings. You might have grammar exercises and vocabulary tests, but you might not get as much time to practice speaking. This can lead to a big difference between your understanding skills and your speaking skills. 9. Lack of immediate feedback. When you're listening or reading, you don't get immediate feedback on your understanding. You might think you understand everything, but there could be small details you're missing. When speaking, your mistakes become apparent right away, which can be discouraging. 10. Cultural differences. Sometimes, the way people express ideas in English might be different from your native language. This can make it hard to find the right words or phrases, even if you understand the general meaning. For example, in some cultures, it's polite to refuse an offer several times before accepting. But in English-speaking cultures, a simple yes, thank you is often enough. These cultural differences can make speaking more challenging than understanding. Remember, it's normal to understand more than you can speak. This happens in any new language you learn. But don't worry. In the next parts of this video, we'll talk about why your understanding is good and how to improve your speaking. Part 2. Why understanding English is good. Before we talk about improving your speaking, let's look at why understanding English well is great. Here are some reasons. 1. You can enjoy English movies and TV. Understanding English means you can watch movies and TV shows in English. You can learn about different cultures and have fun. You don't need to read subtitles, so you can focus on the actors' expressions and the action on screen. For example, you can watch popular English TV shows like Friends or Game of Thrones and understand the jokes and the story. This is not only fun but also helps you learn more about English-speaking cultures. 2. You can listen to English music. English songs are popular all over the world. When you understand the words, you can enjoy the music even more. You can sing along and understand the stories in the songs. Maybe you like pop music, rock, or hip-hop. Understanding the lyrics can help you connect with the emotions in the song. You might even find that some songs help you remember new English words or phrases. 3. You can read English books and websites. There's so much information in English on the internet and in books. Your understanding skills help you learn new things. You can read news websites, blogs about your hobbies, or even English novels. For instance, if you're interested in cooking, you can read English recipes and try new dishes. Or if you like science, you can read about the latest discoveries on English websites. 4. You learn how English sounds. By listening to English, you learn how words should sound. This will help you when you start speaking more. You learn about the rhythm of English sentences and how native speakers connect words together. For example, you might notice that native speakers often say wanna instead of want to in casual speech. Or you might learn that the stress in the word photograph is different from photographer. 5. You learn new words. When you listen and read in English, you learn new words all the time. Later, you can use these words when you speak. You also learn how these words are used in real situations. For instance, you might learn the word procrastinate from a YouTube video about productivity. Then, you can use this word when talking about your study habits. 6. You understand how sentences work. Listening to English helps you understand how to make sentences. This will help you when you start speaking more. You learn about word order, tenses, and how to connect ideas. For example, you might notice that English often uses the present perfect tense, I have seen that movie, in situations where your language might use the simple past. 7. It gives you confidence. Knowing that you can understand English can make you feel good. This confidence will help you when you practice speaking. You know that you have a strong foundation in the language. When you understand a difficult English news report or a complicated song lyric, you can feel proud of your progress. This can motivate you to keep learning and improving. 8. You can understand different accents. The more English you listen to, the better you become at understanding different accents. This is very useful because English is spoken in many countries, each with its own accent. You might start by understanding American English in movies, then learn to understand British English from BBC News, and later even understand Australian or Indian accents. 9. You can learn about English-speaking cultures. Understanding English media helps you learn about the cultures of English-speaking countries. You learn about their traditions, humor, and way of life. For example, by watching American TV shows, you might learn about Thanksgiving traditions. Or by listening to British radio, you might learn about cricket, a popular sport in the UK. 10. It helps with your other language skills. Your listening and reading skills can help improve your writing skills too. The more English you understand, the more examples you have of how to express ideas in English. For instance, if you read a lot of English emails, you'll learn common phrases used in business communication. This can help you when you need to write your own emails in English. So, your ability to understand English is very valuable. It's a great foundation for improving your speaking skills. Now let's move on to how you can improve your speaking. Part 3. How to get better at speaking English. Now let's talk about ways to improve your English speaking. We'll give you many tips and explain each one in detail. Remember, improving your speaking takes time and practice, but with these tips, you can make great progress. 1. Practice speaking every day. The most important thing is to speak English as much as you can. Even if it's just for 5 minutes a day, try to speak English every day. Consistency is key in language learning. You could set a daily alarm on your phone to remind you to practice speaking. You might say the day's date in English, describe your plans for the day, or talk about what you see around you. The important thing is to make speaking English a daily habit. 2. Talk to yourself in English. When you're alone, try talking to yourself in English. Describe what you're doing, what you see, or what you're thinking. This might feel strange at first, but it's a great way to practice without feeling nervous. For example, while cooking, you could describe each step. Now I'm chopping the onions. Next, I'll fry them in the pan. Or while getting dressed, you could say, I'm wearing my blue shirt today because it's sunny outside. 3. Find a language partner. Look for someone who wants to learn your language. You can help each other learn. There are websites and apps that can help you find a language partner. Some popular ones are Tandem, HelloTalk, and Conversation Exchange. When you have a language partner, you can practice speaking about real topics that interest you. You can also learn about each other's cultures. Try to schedule regular times to talk, like once or twice a week. 4. Join English conversation groups. Many places have groups where people practice speaking English together. Look for these in your area or online. You might find them at libraries, community centers, or language schools. If you can't find a group near you, look for online conversation groups. Websites like Meetup often have language exchange groups that meet virtually. These groups are great because you can practice speaking with people at different levels of English. 5. Use language learning apps. There are many apps that can help you practice speaking English. Some popular ones are Duolingo, Babbel, and Busuu. These apps often have speaking exercises where you can practice pronunciation and sentence structure. Try to use these apps regularly, even if it's just for 10 to 15 minutes a day. Many of them have game-like features that make learning fun and keep you motivated. 6. Repeat after native speakers. When you watch English videos or listen to English audio, try to repeat what you hear. This helps with pronunciation and speaking speed. You can use YouTube videos, podcasts, or even scenes from your favorite English TV shows. Start by pausing after each sentence and repeating it. As you get better, try to repeat longer sections without pausing. This will help you improve your fluency and intonation. 7. Learn common phrases. Instead of learning single words, try to learn whole phrases. This can help you speak more naturally. Native speakers often use set phrases that might not make sense if you translate them word for word. For example, instead of just learning the word weather, learn phrases like "What's the weather like today?" or "The weather is lovely." This will help you sound more natural when you speak. 8. Don't be afraid of mistakes. Everyone makes mistakes when learning a language. It's okay. Mistakes help you learn. The more you speak, even with mistakes, the more comfortable you'll become with the language. Try to think of mistakes as learning opportunities. When someone corrects you, thank them and try to remember the correct way for next time. Don't let the fear of making mistakes stop you from speaking. 9. Start with easy topics. Begin by talking about things you know well, like your family, your job, or your hobbies. When you're comfortable with these topics, you can move on to more complex subjects. Practice introducing yourself and asking basic questions. Then, try describing your daily routine or your favorite movie. As you get more confident, you can start discussing your opinions on different topics. 10. Record yourself speaking. Use your phone to record yourself speaking English. Then listen to it. This can help you hear your mistakes and improve. It's also a great way to track your progress over time. Try recording yourself reading a short text, then speaking freely about a topic. Listen to the recording and make note of any words you mispronounced or grammar mistakes you made. Then, practice those specific areas. 11. Speak slowly. It's okay to speak slowly. Take your time to think about what you want to say. Speaking slowly can actually help you speak more clearly and make fewer mistakes. When you're speaking, pause between sentences if you need to. This gives you time to think about your next words and helps the listener understand you better. 12. Use simple words. If you can't remember a difficult word, use simple words to explain what you mean. This is a useful skill even for native speakers. It's better to express your idea clearly with simple words than to use a complicated word incorrectly. For example, if you can't remember the word enormous, you could say very big instead. The meaning is the same and you can keep the conversation going. 13. Practice pronunciation. Focus on sounds that are difficult for you. There are many YouTube videos that can help with pronunciation. Pay special attention to sounds that don't exist in your native language. You can practice specific sounds by repeating words that use them. For example, if you find the p sound difficult, you could practice with words like the, think, and 3. 14. Learn new words and use them. Try to learn a few new words each week. Then try to use these words when you speak. You could keep a small notebook or use a note-taking app on your phone to write down new words you come across. After you learn a new word, try to use it in a sentence. Then, try to use it in conversation as soon as possible. This will help you remember it better. 15. Watch English TV with subtitles. This can help you connect the words you hear with how they're spelled. Start with English subtitles, and as you improve, try watching without subtitles. You could choose a TV show you enjoy and watch one episode a week with subtitles. Try to repeat interesting phrases you hear. This will help you learn natural English expressions. 16. Sing English songs. Singing can help you practice pronunciation in a fun way. Can also help you remember new words and phrases. Choose songs you enjoy and try to sing along. You can find lyrics online to help you understand the words. Start by singing slowly, and gradually try to keep up with the original speed of the song. 17. Describe pictures. Look at a picture and try to describe what you see in English. This helps you practice using descriptive language and talking about different subjects. You could use photos from magazines, pictures on your phone, or images you find online. Try to describe the people, objects, colors, and actions you see in the picture. 18. Role-play everyday situations. Practice conversations you might have in real life, like ordering food or asking for directions. This can help you feel more prepared for real situations. You could practice with a friend or family member. Take turns playing different roles, like a customer and a shop assistant, or a tourist and a local resident. 19. Think in English. Try to think in English instead of your native language. This takes practice but can really help your speaking. Start with simple thoughts and gradually try to think about more complex ideas in English. For example, when you wake up, try to think about your day in English. As you get better, try to have internal dialogues or arguments in English. 20. Be patient with yourself. Learning to speak a new language takes time. Don't get discouraged if you don't improve quickly. Remember that every time you practice, you're making progress, even if it doesn't feel like it. Celebrate small victories like using a new word correctly or having a short conversation in English. Keep track of your progress to stay motivated. 21. Set small goals. Start with small speaking goals. Maybe try to use 5 new words in a conversation each day. Or aim to speak English for 10 minutes without switching to your native language. As you achieve these small goals, set slightly bigger ones. This will help you see your progress and stay motivated. 22. Use gestures. If you can't remember a word, use hand gestures to help explain what you mean. This is a natural part of communication and can help you get your point across. For example, if you forget the word tall, you could use your hand to indicate height. This keeps the conversation going even when you can't find the right word. 23. Practice tongue twisters. Tongue twisters are sentences that are hard to say quickly. They can help improve your pronunciation. Start slowly and try to speed up as you get better. Some popular English tongue twisters are, she sells seashells by the seashore, and how much wood would a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood? 24. Speak with different people. Try to speak English with different people. This helps you get used to different accents and ways of speaking. It also challenges you to adapt your speaking to different situations. If possible, try to speak with native English speakers from different countries. This will help you understand various accents and regional expressions. 25. Describe your daily routine. Practice telling someone about your daily routine in English. This helps you use common verbs and time expressions. Start with a simple description like, I wake up at 7 a.m. Then I eat breakfast. As you improve, add more details and use more complex sentences. 26. Learn and use idioms. Idioms are phrases that mean something different from the individual words. Learning these can make your English sound more natural. Start with common idioms and try to use them in your conversations. For example, learn idioms like, it's raining cats and dogs, it's raining heavily, or break a leg, good luck. Using these correctly can make your English sound more native-like. 27. Tell stories. Try telling simple stories in English. You can start with stories you know well in your own language. This helps you practice using different tenses and connecting ideas. You could start with fairy tales or personal anecdotes. As you improve, try to tell longer and more complex stories. 28. Use a mirror. Practice speaking in front of a mirror. This can help you feel more confident and let you see your mouth movements when pronouncing different sounds. You could practice your facial expressions too. This can help you communicate more effectively when speaking English. 29. Listen and repeat. Listen to short English audio clips and try to repeat them exactly. This helps with pronunciation, intonation, and speaking rhythm. You could use resources like English learning podcasts or short news clips. Start with very short sentences and gradually try longer ones. 30. Have fun. Remember to enjoy the process of learning. The more fun you have, the more you'll want to practice. Try to find ways to make speaking English enjoyable for you. This could mean playing English language games, having conversations about topics you love, or rewarding yourself for reaching your English speaking goals. Conclusion. Let's review what we've learned today. 1. It's normal to understand more English than you can speak. This happens because listening is easier than speaking, and most people hear more English than they speak. 2. Your ability to understand English is very valuable. It helps you enjoy English media, learn about different cultures, and builds a strong foundation for speaking. 3. There are many ways to improve your speaking skills. The key is to practice regularly. Start with simple topics, and gradually challenge yourself. Remember, learning to speak English well takes time and practice. Don't give up. Every time you try to speak English, you're getting better. Here are the most important things to remember. Speak English every day, even if it's just a little bit. Don't be afraid of making mistakes. They're part of the learning process. Practice with other people when you can. Real conversations are the best practice. Be patient with yourself. Learning a language is a journey, not a race. Learning to speak English fluently is a big goal, but you can do it. Enjoy the process and celebrate your progress, no matter how small. Every word you speak in English is a step forward. Thank you for watching this video. I hope it helps you on your English learning journey. Don't forget to practice your speaking by leaving a comment in English below. You can share your own tips or tell us about your English learning experience. Good luck with your English speaking. Remember, the best time to start practicing is now. You've got this. Keep practicing, stay motivated, and soon you'll be speaking English with confidence. Believe in yourself and your ability to learn. Your English speaking skills will improve with time and practice. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video with anyone who might benefit from it. Thank you again for watching and happy English learning.